Today we got to talk about Jake Fromm choosing to enter the NFL draft after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, we need to talk about Georgia Dogs quarterback Jake Fromm entering the NFL draft. And as some of you have seen, debuting a new feature with the lounge chair. So it's about 10 minutes on Jake Fromm. So we're going to set our egg timer to 10 minutes and go. So how I look at this is, if you are a Georgia fan and you are upset about this, or you believe that your program is about to fall apart, get over yourself, okay? If you think that Georgia football is going to fall apart because Jake friggin' Fromm entered the NFL draft, I need you to take a deep breath, because I understand that this news just hit you on Wednesday afternoon as it hit all of us. But if you saw some of the draft projections, you also see Jake Fromm is considered a first-round draft pick by some. I don't think he is, but I don't have to think he is. I'm not the dude drafting quarterbacks, right? I'm not the dude that's also going to go into a draft with Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert, or come out next year in a draft with Trevor Lawrence. And it's not that I don't think that Jake Fromm is a good quarterback. I actually think Jake Fromm could be a great NFL quarterback. I'm just not going to use a first-round draft pick on him, because I believe you should draft defensive talent and offensive linemen in the first round, because I can get a quarterback that can cook later. But that's my own personal thought, right? However, going back to Georgia football, and what are you going to do now? Let's not forget Jake Fromm was really, really, really good at Georgia, okay? He got you to a college football playoff. He got you an SEC championship game appearance, right? He got you a nice pelt in Notre Dame. He got you to the Sugar Bowl. He got you a Rose Bowl win and a berth in the national championship. Won 35 games, right? We all know this stuff. 78 touchdowns, was outstanding over the course of his career in completion percentage. And if you had told me Georgia was going to get Jacob Eason, Jake Fromm, and Justin Fields in succession, I would say you're crazy to think they're going to need a transfer quarterback in 2020. Well, I, like many of you, would be wrong about that. But we would also have been wrong about whether or not Jake Fromm was going to be the last dude standing as the Georgia starting quarterback, knowing the other two dudes, Jacob Eason and Justin Fields, are also really, really good. And Jacob Eason already said he's going into the NFL draft after transferring to Washington and putting on really a Jake Fromm kind of performance at Washington without the wins or the titles or the really big New Year's Six Bowl, at least invitation, let alone W. I mean, Oklahoma fans will never get over blowing a 17-point lead in the second quarter. Squib kick much there, Lincoln. Look, Oklahoma's played in 4 college football playoffs, and that was the one that they should have won. Jake Fromm was a reason that was thwarted. Sony Michel and Nick Chubb were also a reason that was thwarted to go along with Roquan Smith. But that's also what I'm getting at about Georgia football, right? You've seen with Georgia football that when they return everybody that they could return, they're outstanding. And now you get Richard LeCounte coming back. You get Eric Stokes coming back, right? You will have George Pickens, who was ascending. Dominic Blaylock comes back off the knee injury. Zamir White is that dude. You'll get some outstanding freshmen in there. Darnell Washington is joining up. Keely Ringo's joining up. You just need a quarterback that is worthwhile. Now, is Stetson Bennett that dude? Nah, bruh. Is D'Wan Mathis that dude? Maybe. I feel way better about D'Wan Mathis than I do about Stetson Bennett. And people will remember when Justin Fields announced that he was transferring to Ohio State, D'Wan Mathis, who was committed to Ohio State, said, I'm transferring to Georgia. So we all know that he can play, right? You also get to throw in there, yes, you can make jokes about Justin Fields leaving Georgia, going to Ohio State, getting them a Big Ten championship, and taking the only loss of his career as a starter to Trevor Lawrence's Clemson. And Trevor Lawrence's Clemson, 25-0 with him as a starter, 29-0 going back to last year. They're one of the best teams in the history of college football, folks. So knowing that, it's known that Kirby Smart didn't want Justin Fields to go. But Justin Fields also wanted to start, and he wanted to be a quarterback. Like, having your mans run plays out of the up back position in punt return, punt, ain't what any five-star quarterback wants to do. Remember, Justin Fields, number 2 rated quarterback in the 2018 class, number 2 rated player in the 2018 class behind Trevor friggin' Lawrence. Both of those guys have turned out to be generational talents. Justin Fields, all you got to do is do it one more time, right? He going to go in the draft. He going to be gone. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence, right? Now, in thinking about who they could go get, it's interesting that Anthony Brown out of Boston College and Jamie Newman out of Wake Forest were both in Atlanta training with Quincy Avery. And what does Quincy Avery mean to you? Quincy Avery means quarterback coach that trained Dwayne Haskins and, yes, Deshaun Watson. He got a pretty good track record of dudes getting drafted in the first round and a pretty good track record of training winners, right? Say what you want about Dwayne Haskins, he got a Rose Bowl, all right? Say what you want about Deshaun Watson, he got a national championship, and he's still playing in the playoffs this weekend. Matter of fact, there are only 10 teams still playing pro football or college football after January 7th. The Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, it's one of them. So what do we think is going to happen? Could they go get a transfer quarterback? I think it's undoubtedly yes. And Jamie Newman feels like he could fit. He also gives you an added dimension of being able to move in a way that Jake Fromm doesn't. But if James Coley ain't going to open up the playbook just a little bit, I'd feel much better about a Jamie Newman back there because I like store brand Cam Newton. I thought store brand Cam Newton was going to have Wake Forest humming right along this year. Instead, I'm going to have North Carolina as the second best team in the ACC, which I understand to a lot of people ain't saying anything. But knowing that store brand Cam Newton could be your quarterback at Georgia, you're getting some version of what you were going to get out of Justin Fields. A guy that can throw the ball, not as well as Justin Fields, not anywhere near as well as Justin Fields, but also can run it and ain't going to get hurt in the way that a lot of other people get hurt. Store brand Cam Newton has the same indestructible quality as one Jalen Hurts. And all you know from him is he rushed for damn near 1,300 yards over the course of one season at Oklahoma and broke the quarterback single season rushing record at Oklahoma. And while he ain't going to be a first round draft pick, he's going to play pro football, right? And if I told you that you could get store brand Cam Newton to go play at Georgia, you would tell me y'all were going to win a national championship because that's how y'all feel about y'all defense. And you should. That's kind of the point here. Georgia's defense has been the brand. I know that y'all got hats out there to say run the damn ball because I was up there at Sanford in Athens for the Notre Dame game. I get it. I understand. But if you want to win the damn SEC championship game, you're going to have to get some version of what Jake Fromm was giving you, and you're going to have to get your man's Coley to open up the playbook so that they can go out there and get it. Now, as for where Jake Fromm ends up getting drafted, who the hell knows? You know, the thing about the NFL draft and slotting players is we know what teams need, but teams are stupid sometimes, and some teams trade up. Some teams decide, yo, we're going to trade up to go get Pat Mahomes, and we're going to sit him for a year, and we're going to turn him into the NFL's version of Voltron. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Other folks say, hey, we're Chicago, and we're going to draft Mitch friggin' Trubisky. I mean, let me, okay. Cincinnati, player. Do not draft Jake Fromm. Miami. Do not draft Jake Fromm with your first pick. Don't be that. Don't do that. Don't get talked into it. Don't come out of talking about the interview was so great. Don't talk about any measurables that you might see. Don't talk about how he was drawing up on a whiteboard. I don't care. Jake Fromm is not a top 10 pick. Don't do it. Now, is store brand Cam Newton a top 10 pick? Hell no. But that ain't what you need at Georgia. What you need is a dude that is going to get you back to the SEC championship game. And just by getting in the SEC championship game, we know that you stand a chance of getting invited into the college football playoff. You ain't even got to win the damn thing no more, right? You need a capable steward. You need somebody that's not going to mess it up for the defense, all right? You need somebody that's going to exist between the snap and a half a second where they got to put the ball in the belly of Zamir White, okay? That's what you need. You need somebody that's going to exist between the snap and throwing a nice bubble screen out there to running back X, right? You need somebody that's going to exist between the snap and not mess up the 3-yard slant to George Pickens. He's going to take it the rest of the way. You need Kirby Smart to be Kirby Smart. You need Dan Lanning to be Dan Lanning. And you might need to get James Coley a new playbook. Because I genuinely believe that Georgia was one of the most talented teams in the country. But the modernizing of their playbook that they are avoiding, I believe, is the reason that they got beat down by LSU. I get that nobody could get to Joe Burrow, and I get that Joe Burrow can cook. But if you can turn that game into a shootout, I like your chances way better than I like LSU's chances, even as there are 3 first-round draft picks playing defense back for LSU right damn now. One of the true freshmen everybody wants to tell me ain't any good, except I've been on the Derek Stingley bandwagon for a long time. Okay. It went off. Doses.